If you believe in penal substitution, you are either a universalist or a Calvinist, right? Well, that is a refutation against penal substitution, which is the idea that Jesus took our penalty as our substitute on the cross for our sins. And I think it's wrong. I think that penal substitution is correct, and I don't think you have to be a universalist or a Calvinist to buy into it. So we're going to look at it. We're looking at refutations to it. We found out that it's biblical. We found out that it's not a new doctrine. We found out that Jesus' payment can be sufficient. And in the last video, the innocent can be punished for the guilty. Today, we're going to look at this idea. If penal substitutionary atonement is true, does it not mean that everyone would be saved, or that Jesus only died for some people? And I don't believe that either of those are correct. So how does this work? So Jesus died. He was the atonement. The atonement, he allowed us to become at one with God. He paid for our sins. So the question is, if Jesus actually died for the sins of all mankind, that means all man's sins are paid for, right? That means everyone's going to be saved. That's universalism. The other side of that is, well, wait a minute here. Jesus didn't actually die for everyone. He only died for the elect. He only died for those who he chose would be saved. That's Calvinism, or the L of Calvinism, which is limited atonement. And I don't buy into either one of those. So how do we work this out? Well, if Jesus died to pay the sins for everyone, is everyone saved, or did Jesus actually only die for a few people? Well, I think the answer is, it's actually very simple, a very simple answer. And this is it right here. I believe the Bible teaches that Jesus made the payment for everyone. The payment is available for everyone, but only applied to those who believe. We think of John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So the payment's there. It's sitting out there. It's like, hey, here it is, guys. You can come get it. But it's only applied for those who actually look at it and listen and believe. And one of the examples that we have of this, well, this is before Jesus came, obviously, but it's the Passover. Jesus is closely connected with the Passover. In fact, let me find the verse. 1 Corinthians 5:7, Jesus is referred to as a Passover. Paul says, therefore, purge out the old leaven that you may be a new lump, since you truly are unleavened. For indeed, Christ, our Passover, was sacrificed for us. And so the idea of Passover and Jesus are very clearly connected there. And when you think about the Passover, who could take part in that? When the Israelites were supposed to take the lamb and kill it, put his blood above the doorpost, and God says, I'm not going to kill the oldest in your house when I go through if the blood is on there. So it was okay. I mean, that an animal could die for anybody there. But if you did not believe what God said, you did not put the blood of the door, the blood of the lamb, then the oldest was going to die, right? But if you did put it up there, the oldest wouldn't die. You had to make a choice. You had to make a decision. It was there. There didn't have to be any children who died. But some did. Many did, because people did not do what they were told to do. So Christ is our Passover. The Passover lamb had to be applied to the door for salvation, not salvation New Testament sense we're talking about, but as far as being rescued from death. So that salvation could be applied to the firstborn of that house. Just a real quick illustration that I've used many times. Maybe a lot of you have even heard me use it, because I think it's so clear. And this is a illustration I heard probably when I was a kid. This older couple were getting ready to die, or this old couple. They were rich. They were very wealthy, and they're getting ready to die. And they knew that they had all this wealth. They didn't have any kids. What are they going to do, right? So they put out this ad in the newspaper. This is an old story, okay? They had newspapers then. Now it's Facebook advertisement or something. They put this advertisement out, and they said, if you show up at our house between noon and 5 on Saturday, bring your bills, we will pay off all your bills. And they had the funds to do it. And so everyone was kind of talking, is this real? I mean, at noon on Saturday, people are kind of coming in the sidewalk out front of these people's house, and they're all talking, hey, did you hear about this person? They're willing to pay off our bills, but nobody wants to actually go up the door because they're afraid. What if this is just false? All these people are going to laugh at me. I'm going to look really dumb because I'm going up there. People are going to know I have a debt, that I need to pay off. And so they're talking about this. Finally, this one elderly couple, they say, you know what? We've got all this debt. We don't want our children to be saddled with this. We don't really care what anybody thinks. So they go up to the door, they knock on the door, and they go inside. And this elderly, rich couple that's sitting there, they say, let's see your bills. So they lay all the bills out, and the man writes a check for the whole thing. And this couple, they're getting up to leave and they go back out. They're going to tell everybody. And the rich man says, no, just wait right here. So they wait around until 5 o'clock comes, and then he lets them go, and they go out, and everyone says, come on, did this work? What'd you do? Did the man pay off your bills? What's going on? And they said, yeah, look, we got a check to pay off all these debts that we have. This man has the means, and it's all good. Now, everyone rushes to the house, but the man says, you know what? I said between noon and 5. It's after 5 now. It's too late. You should have come when you had the opportunity. And I think that's a great illustration of salvation, how the payment of Jesus is enough for everyone. The man had enough money to pay for everybody, but only those who believed and trusted are the only ones who got it applied to them. And I think that's what salvation is in the Bible. It's enough for everyone, but it's only applied to those who put their faith in Jesus. All right, that's it for this video. I think we have probably one more. We're going to look at, does penal substitution make God a bloodthirsty sadist? And what about sadist? And what about cosmic child abuse? We may put those together in one video. I'm not sure yet. Well, does penal substitution show that God is just mean and vengeful and he just got to kill somebody because of sin? And Jesus was the closest one. We're going to look at that next time. God bless you guys. I'll see you later.